Good evening. Yes, I'm back again.
Turn right,
I should have brought my camera with me Friday because, well, I did, but like an idiot, I forgot to put the memory card in it, so it couldn't record. Because Friday, I had absolute hell on.
1,000 feet.
I broke down. It blew a coolant hose and dumped it all out in, it's probably, you might not think it's the nastiest spot in the world on the M62, but it's not the nicest neither. I'll try and show you later on where it happened.
Turn left.
Fortunately, I kept in touch with the hub and the gaffers, and we got it sorted. I was only like, it was 45 minutes late, and instead of going up there, they fast tracked me, so all worked out alright. But these things happen, you know, the amount of mileage these trucks do, sooner or later something's going to happen. So, we're a bit late out tonight, but we don't have any diversions on the way. We do have one on the way home, but it's only a short one. At RAF Dishforth, between Thirsk and Ripon. So it's no great shakes, it's only one junction, and it's the A168, so it's 50 limit all the way. Trucks use it all the time, a lot of trucks park down there overnight. So yeah, no problem. So, Rochdale have been very quick lately because there's been a few nights where they can't get it all on, so they just load me up with the urgent stuff and say away you go, and then they'll send a tramper in for overspilt next day. Or if it ain't much, they might send a rigid. Because we've got a rigid that goes to Strangeways prison once a week, so he can call in empty on the way back. So, nothing I can do if I can't get it on. It's the way it is. So, right, I'm going to crack on. Michael's behind me, again. I'm here this week covering Dave again, and then I've got 2 weeks covering Steve, then either off or somewhere else for a week, then up to now back here for a week because Michael's off, and then the early driver Jason, I think he might have booked a week's holiday as well. So yeah, it doesn't bother me because I like it, you know. I mean, this is a steady number. I mean, I get to Rochdale, the only thing on me is get to Rochdale in time. I'm always around about an hour early, so after that I'm just getting paid to enjoy the drive on the way home. You know what I mean? I have a 3-hour break, I get paid for that. Well, take 45 off you, but you know, 2 hours 15 for sitting around playing on your phone or your tablet. You can't go wrong really, can you? You know, obviously when shit does go wrong, you know, whether it be a breakdown, whether it be diversions, whether there's just traffic jams, if there's an accident on the road and it stops. I mean, Thursday we've got some pretty severe thunderstorms coming, so it's not unheard of for them to shut the M62 over Saddleworth if it gets really bad. Shouldn't be like, but you never know. But I've got a get out of jail card for that one. just go westbound on M62, pick up M61, M6, A69. Extra half hour on my time, but I'm not bothered.
After 1,000
So,
feet, enter the roundabout, take the third exit onto A1.
well, at the moment, work's being good. You know, I'm getting a fair bit. I'm
Enter
being
the
paid well for
roundabout,
it.
take the third exit.
Long may it continue. I would guess once we get past, once we get into September, that's when you kind of start getting the build up towards Christmas. You know, you've got things like stores and that starting to build the stock up and what have you. You know, so companies will start getting busier. But I'm surprised at how busy it's been so far. You know, I mean, the difference between this agency and my last one is very marked, to say the least. You know, I mean, I might get a week off in just over a fortnight's time. He might ask me to do something else. Wouldn't surprise me if he sends me somewhere else. So we'll see how it goes. I wouldn't mind a week off because I've got a couple of things that need doing on my car which I couldn't get in on my last week off. All the mechanical stuff is near enough spot on now. Not that there was anything really spoiling up the mechanical side, but I've got it how I want it. Now it's just I want to get on top of the bodywork. Turn that lane departure off. I want to get on top of the bodywork and get it looking mint again, rather than let it deteriorate, if you know what I mean. So shouldn't cost that much. So up to now, looks like we should be there for 25 to 10. So, and that's getting out of the yard late. Well, there's no pressure, you know. So, what else is new? Well, not a great deal really. One thing that has been things mentioned to us is about load security and the fact that DVSA have been prowling round at certain spots on our roads. So we've been told on these trailers we've got both safety nets and internal straps. Now, generally speaking, we just use the safety nets. They're basically internal straps with mesh in between them. So it's just, instead of individually strapping each pallet, you just pull it across, clip it all down, and if a pallet's got loose stuff on it, saves it falling through gapping straps, if you know what I mean. We do have internal straps as well, but generally, unless it's something which I would consider seriously at risk of going sideways, I would use them for like tall stuff or whatever, and cross straps so they can't move forwards or backwards. At the moment I don't have anything unstable like that on here, so I'm alright, but it's there as an option. But we're getting told, make sure when you pull these nets, every buckle is fastened. Don't give them any excuse if you get stopped. So, because we are going to get a serious fine, like, you know. Some people tell me it's £100 a pallet if your load's deemed insecure. Some people say it's a lot more. I have heard some people say it's £1,000 a pallet. But if it's £100 a pallet, and on these double decks, I mean, There's times I've had over 60 on, depending on size of pallets. You know, that fine is on you. You know, £6 grand for the sake of a couple of minutes fastening your nets. Just make sure you've done it. Simple as that. There are people who I know who cut corners and don't do it because they want to get back 5 minutes quicker. But is it worth it? You know, at the end of the day, you're better off being safe. If your load does go over and it's bulging on the curtains, well, you're going to get stopped. You know, in majority of cases, you're not going to be able to one-ball it, get it secure again. So what are you going to do? You're going to get impounded, aren't you? You know, that's that. Try explaining that one away to your boss, because he's the one who has to pay the cost to get it out of the pound then, and the cost of anything else that needs doing. So, there you go. Yes, you can tell how hot it is when they're all driving round with roofs down. 22 degrees and it's not even 7 o'clock yet. So, who says it's cold in the northeast, eh? You know, it's not as bad as what people say. Right, I'm going to crack on, and I'll see you a bit later on. Well, we're just passing the Harrogate Junction, Junction 47, A1, and where the hell has Michael gone? I mean, I've put some distance between us, because this truck's a little bit quicker than his, but normally by now it'd be maybe quarter mile, maybe half mile behind me. It must have been held up, because I mean, I can see well over half a mile behind me. There's no sign of him. So I don't know. I'm guessing he's being held up because I don't think I'm going any quicker than normal. If anything, probably 5 or 10 minutes slower. But hey, there's a surprise. So, as you can see, the sun's starting to go down. It's only 20 past 8. So, that's a sign we haven't got much summer left. But, on the bonus side, when you've got a clear night like this, you see some amazing sunsets. And in the summer, when you're going home, some amazing sunrises as well. Not so much in winter. Oh, hello. I spy with my little eye. I do believe that is Alliance Healthcare. How long have we been going now? An hour and 43, because I had 6 minutes on my clock before I set off. So and it's now 20 past 8. That's Alliance Healthcare. It's running a bit behind schedule. It was my first job working for them. Find out when I get a bit closer. If it is, it'll either be Scott or Callum. Good pair of lads. I passed Callum the other night when it is Alliance Healthcare, and he always has his dance music going. And it was funny. I wish I'd have caught it on camera, because he was proper boogieing in the driving seat. And I didn't realise it was me until I got up alongside him and waved at him. Oh, I don't know whether he thought it was funny or embarrassing. And here's one, 56 mile an hour, and being overtaken by Asda. That's got to be a subby, because Asda trucks do not do 56 mile an hour unless they've upped the limiters on them. So 22 plate. It might be an Asda truck. They might have decided to speed them up a little bit. So, right, it's going to take a while to catch that Alliance truck. Hopefully before he goes off, because I'm going M1, he's going straight down A1. Wash him in. So 12 minutes to junction 43. I might get past him on the downhill sections. When I worked for them, we had an MAN and had a lot of mileage on the clock. Well, it wasn't a bad truck. Now they've got one of the Actros's mirror cams, which that was promised when I was there 2 years ago, but I think they've had it maybe 6 months now. The guys seem very happy with it, and they've got one of them double decks with moving floor. The trailer that they was using when I was there, it was a double deck with a tail lift, and it was an absolute pain in the arse. Really was. I mean, we was on self-tip and down at South Normanton, their loaders refused to go up because the force didn't move like that trailer does. That one, they'll load the top deck. Well, they'll put 6 pallets on the front where the sloping bit is, or maybe 8, and then they'll start doing the moving floor. And those will be pallets which are not high at all. Just give this fella a bit of wide berth. Show this car. Just make him back off a little bit. I probably didn't have to do that, but you know, I'm just being careful. If he moves over a little bit, then you know, I'm not going to have a lot of room. So, yeah, the loaders down at South Normanton, they will load that trailer top to bottom. They refused to do ours. They do the bottom deck, and then we had to go up on the tail lift and load the top deck as shelves, which was heavy as shit. And then getting back to the yard, you'll be on the back of the trailer wheeling everything up onto the tail lift at the top, and then it's going up and down. Well, at first they used to take it straight off, just wind the forklift up and take it straight off the tail lift. Then after a while they said you've got to drop it down to a certain level. I think somebody had a near miss or something. But those trailers, he'll not load that himself. He'll just put that on brake when he gets down there, and that'll be it. They're all done for him. So that was hard graft doing that old trailer. You know, I mean, because some of them pallets were bloody heavy, really heavy. So a little tip for you: the trailer be on a slight slope like that. So when they put stuff on the back, I mean, the ground it was on was dead level, but because of the nature of the trailer, it'd be tilted like that. So what you would do is, once you get parked up and you're going to go up there, so when they're tipping it, don't matter, you want a downhill slope. When you're going to load it, drop the air out of your back suspension, just lower it as flat as it'll go. If it's still not level, you can raise the back wheels back up a little bit, lever underneath, which will give you a bit of clearance. Just remember to reset it all before you set off. And the other thing is, you'll have an Anderson line plugged in from trailer to unit. You plug it in when you get there. Remember to take it out. More than one person sets off with it still in, and you just knacker it, you know. So what I used to do was, because I've been wanting to get away, I used to put a little bit of paper across my clocks which said Lecky cable on it. Never forgot it. I can't forget it. You've got to move the paper before you go. But it's very easy to forget that. So this petrol tank is probably going to get a roll on down here. I'm going to go past him. I'll let him in. On some of these slopes this will start running up to 58 and he won't. Come on, I'm flashing you. On this slope now I'll probably leave him. That's not a genuine Sainsbury's truck because a lot of them are limited to 50, I believe. Or used to be. But yeah, when you've done unloading trailers like that, and then you go on to a job where you don't actually touch stuff on the back, you do appreciate it, you know what I mean? And when you have to unload a double deck, you start to appreciate just how heavy they are. I mean, some of the stuff on them, you'll get a pallet of them little yogurt drinks and it'll be stacked up to like shoulder height. That's bloody heavy going, is that? They don't like moving now, well over a ton. Now this guy is obviously running empty because he wouldn't pull away from me like that. Not if he was loaded. Pull in and make sure there's no behind me. I don't like blocking people if I don't have to. So I'm going to go flying past this Sainsbury's truck after A64 because we come to a really steep bit. Probably one of the steepest bits on this run. Not the steepest bit, but one of them. And some trucks really do run away with themselves down there. So with this one, I can trust it, along with many of the MANs, not to go over 60 mile an hour. But I went down there in a Scania. By heck, the thing was flying. They had the retarder on full, and he was still on the foot brake as well. Which to me was the one weak point about the Scania. You just had to be wary of overspeeds on steep slopes. Apart from that, I don't have a fault with them. And even then, I wouldn't say that's a fault as such. You just adapt your driving to suit. Right. let's see who's driving this. I'm going to stay in this lane because I'm going straight on for M1. He's going to go in lane 1. I might have to give him a toot when I go past, because he's not expecting me to be driving for this company. AXP, yes, it is the Wester Hope one. Who is it? It's Scott by the look of it. It was fucking miles away. Love it, man. It's just shit himself. He'll probably give me a bollocking message when I get to Rochdale now. He'll probably get to South Normanton about the same time. Or he might even beat me. No, he'll not beat me because he's got all them roadworks. So, yeah, we still chat on Facebook, but it's been a while since I've seen him in person. So, that's what it is. He's been at Alliance now for quite a while, as Scott, like, you know. But when I first went to South Normanton, I went down with him on a couple of nights training.
After half a mile, keep right on M1 towards Manchester.
Actually, that's not a Merc, that's a DAF. What have I done with a Merc?
Keep right on M1 towards Manchester.
The Merc must be in for service or something, so that's probably a hire truck. I'll find out later. If he don't message me tonight, he'll be having a chat at weekend. So it's been a week for seeing people, I know. Right, got a few miles of this down to Skelton Lake Services. Hopefully it will not get held up too much. This is how I like it when it's free flowing, because it starts getting busy. It can be like pulling teeth in here. Right, let's crack on. The next step is M62, and it looks like when we get to Leeds and Bradford and that, we're going to have a stunning sunset over West Yorkshire. Right, let's crack on. Well, we've just passed Artshead Moor services at Bradford and we're dropping down towards Brighouse and the alternative route into Huddersfield. Well, see what you think about alternative. It depends which way you want to go, really. So, it was Friday night, roughly about this time. As you can tell, the engine's under load because the retarder's going crackers. And I was coming down here just doing what you do, like, you know. Just overtaken another truck that were going to Rochdale. And everything hunky-dory, you know, nothing out of the ordinary whatsoever. So, coming over this bridge, and I gets to where the engine starts to work again to pull up the hill, and it was just as I was coming around this corner, yellow warning light goes on, coolant level. Well, I'm like, okay, you're on a slope, you know, that can affect the sensor inside. Then when you level it might go off, you know, whatever, these things happen. So, just as I'm climbing, I get to about here, that goes red, and I'm like, oh shit, that temperature gauge starts to move up quite quickly, and I'm like, oh dear, I know what's going on here. So I managed to get into lane 1, roughly where this van is here, or just after, to be honest, and it's where you see the fencing just further up, and that was it. Now you can tell this hard shoulder is narrow, so like you're getting your wheels as good as in the grass, like, you know, otherwise your mirror's nearly poking out. And jumps out that side. You really don't want to jump out that side. Look how narrow that is. It's not even 1 lane wide. And the night heater is down behind the front bumper, and it popped a coolant hose off behind the night heater. It was just spewing out. It was all over the exhaust, which is on that side, and that was absolutely stinking. Steam coming off it and everything. Walked outside that truck and you could see the trail of coolant stretching back down there, and I'm like, shit. So, and back into the truck, and Emma from Neil and Brown, who I've just overtaken, comes past, and I see she's looking as if to say, oh, he's got a problem. So, phoned up, got a fitter out. It took him literally 5 minutes. The hose had just disconnected. Hadn't split or nothing like that. It just, the clip around the hose had worked loose, and when it's under pressure, it just blows it off. So he reconnected it. 5 minutes he was under it. It took like maybe another 45, maybe longer, to get the radiator filled, because there's a shitload of coolant in here. So it took a fair bit of time, but it could have been a lot worse. I mean, a lot of the M62 doesn't have a hard shoulder, so, you know, you've got smart motorway sections and everything, which I'm really not a fan of. I really don't want to break down on a smart motorway. People say, oh well, they've got cameras. I don't care, I don't trust people. Been numerous incidents of people going into the back of stuff. So, now look at that sunset. I don't know if you can see that. You know, it's, again, I know I keep saying it, but that's one of the things I love about this job. You know, there's always something nice to see. Not so much so in winter. You know, depending on what hours you work, you might see nothing but blackness. But it is what it is. Right. There's been quite a few roadworks up here, and I'm being wary because quite often it can stop pretty rapidly when everybody's flying up to the roadworks and starts pushing and shoving. So I'm looking for brake lights. They might not have even put the cones out for it yet because there was that truck back there. So, you know, they might not have even set it up because sometimes the signs do come on early. Well, we'll see. There we go, slow moving traffic in lane 2. Some people just cannot hold speed. It's ridiculous. And how many times do you see somebody, you come to overtake them, they suddenly realise they're getting overtaken by a truck, then they boot the shit out of it. And I think a lot of the time they're on the phones. You know, they're distracted. And they only realise how slow they're going when you go past them. And it's where you can tell we've got weight on when it drops down at 50 mile an hour. Because on a good night, it's just 56 straight up here. But we've got some, look like sections of pipe work, but they're like the clamp bits, you know, for the joints, and they are big. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. Oh, I would guess there's a lot of weight in them. There's all manner of stuff on, to be honest. I mean, it is full tonight, which last week it was pretty quiet. There was only a couple of nights when I was full. Coming over anyway. Going back, I've usually got a fair bit on, apart from Saturday. But looks like things are picking up again. But yeah, I do like coming this way. When you get away from Leeds and Bradford and that, and you get up here onto Moors and that, it is lovely. I mean, the views you get, just out of this world. And then to go dump these here, you know. But hey, people need to make money somehow, so fair play. I was looking at this reservoir here overnight, and this little structure here, can't see at the moment, that's actually got a light in the middle. I don't know if you can make that out. I don't know what that's all about. So that'd be a lovely place to go take little Otto for a walk. Well, I'm not driving all this way down just to take the dog for a walk. There are plenty of places where I live. Up there, you see flowers and that. I don't know if you make it out. Wasn't so long ago somebody jumped off that. So I don't know. You've got to be in a bad way to do that. Really bad way. So here we are, Saddleworth Moor again. Or just coming up to Saddleworth Moor. When we get round that snaking bit there, then we're on the highest point. So this could be one of the last few sunsets I see up here, because it won't be long before it's dark when I get here, so I'm making the most of it, enjoying it. Now, Little House on the Prairie here, I've heard conflicting stories about this. The most popular one is that the farmer, when they was building this, he says, no, I'm not moving. And apparently they got so fed up they just built the motorway around him. But then I heard another things like it's such a listed building that they couldn't get permission to demolish it for motorway. Various other things. So I don't know. If you know the truth about Little House on the Prairie, let me know. It's certainly unusual. But I always wonder about it when I come past. I've been coming up over here ever since I was a kid. Because when I was a nipper, like primary school age and early teens, we didn't have a car. You know. So on a Sunday my dad would take me off to rugby. If we're on a away match, we'd be on coach coming over here. And I always used to look at that, wonder. I don't know. So, right, Saddleworth Moor. We are now 9 miles from Rochdale. It's saying 19 minutes, it won't be that. So, it will be 25 to 10 though, by the time we get through the gate, because it never opens quick, or rarely. So, right, we'll crack on. It will be a 3-hour drive, which is what it is. Sometimes it's quicker, sometimes it's slower. I'm not fussy, there's nothing spoiling, I'm an hour early, that's that. So, right, I'll crack on. Catch you in a bit. Well, here we are in Rochdale again. Alright, just watch what we're doing here. We'll get through anyway. As I was coming past the Aldi last night, there's a filter lane to turn right. Somebody thought it was the filter lane to turn into Aldi, and he started coming right across. And for some reason then he suddenly noticed a 44-ton truck coming towards him. Strange. Again, was he playing on his phone? I'm being mindful, because there was a guy coming on here and he wasn't a kid, so he should know better. He was on one of them e-scooters and he was sending text messages on his phone, which, no lights on and dark clothing as it's starting to go dark. That was the night I'd broken down. That'd have been a fitting end, wouldn't it? Breakdown, running late, and then end up splattering somebody because they're sending a text on an e-scooter. Wonderful, and it would have been me getting the blame. Well, until they take the dash cam footage anyway. So, yeah, I mean, night time when you've got people about, bikes with no lights on, e-scooters, car drivers not giving a monkeys, takeaway delivery drivers too busy looking for house numbers to look in the mirrors or check what's around them. And people just parking where the hell they want, because they're too busy to park in a designated parking spot and then walk it a couple of yards to takeaway. I mean, that's not a designated parking spot, it's a framing gateway. Right, what do I know? I just drive a truck. You bet your life if I blocked something, even out of hours, something would be said to me like, wouldn't it?
After half a mile.
Yeah, I've been cut up quite a few times around here. I did see a truck parked here the other night. It'd gone in takeaways, but personally, close to a bend, you know, if all happened, I'm going to get my collar felt out. Wouldn't be so bad if them cars weren't there. You get right outside. But I'm not going to risk coming over here with no food, thinking I'm going to get a takeaway before I go in and find out I've got nowhere to
After
park and no
1,000
food.
feet, turn right onto Chichester Street.
I mean, I was very, very lucky. I brought a sandwich and I had a couple of packets of crisps in my bag as well, because I had a microwave meal. I like to have a hot tea here.
Right onto Chichester
But
Street.
when I got fast-tracked on Friday night, I was in the tunnel, and you're not allowed to get out of your cab at all once you're in there. So, by the time I got out, it was a case of pull across the yard. Everybody else had gone. I was the last one. By the time I'd done my curtains, everybody else is going home. There's only security on premises. So, I doubted very much they was going to let me use the microwave. So fortunately, I brought a sandwich with me. Where's he going? Let's see if that gate reopens. That's Steve moving the rigids.
Turn left.
Oh, it's starting to close. Let's see if it reopens. Might do. No. Recent calls. That's the one. That's for the access call. Oh, is that Neil and Brown over there? Turn that down a bit, it's a bit loud. There we go, open sesame. Right, we're here. I'm not going to get parked up straight away because my entrance is blocked. Right. That's it. For now. I'll catch you later. Ta. Right, we're loaded. But we've been asked to move off the bay because he needs to get another truck in because they're running late. So, do my curtains out here. Right. Leaving engine running to build up a bit of air. As you can see, we've got a fair bit on. Not fully loaded. But what the fuck is them long lengths? Well, should be on a pallet, but they're not. Wonders never cease. rid of these nets. That one is securing the nets. They always jam. Fucking gloves. That's it. Put them off there. I'll look at these nets, I'll show you what they're like. As you can see, it's like having internal straps with nets in between them. Yank. Done. Done. Oh. Same again with this one. Catching. So. Store these somewhere safe so they don't come down between the curtains, because if you're seen with that dragging behind you, it'll not look good. These are pretty quick to clip up. You click, tap down, get the tension in. I like to have them tight. Some people aren't bothered. Better safe than sorry. Bit awkward sometimes because you've got a tight gap between them. Curtain back. The other company I work for, their trailers are much harder because they haven't got as much grease on the rails that run through the top. Whereas this company, they really look after the trailers because they don't want you hurting your back. See? Don't tighten it. Always do the back first. And it helps if you've got a well lit yard like this. You can actually see where the poles are going. Them off. Normally you'd put it through there, but there was a lot of slack on. So this is just how I do it. Hold that. They're not quite full turns, so you want 3 or 4 full turns, then you can do the front. I know you'll say I'm teaching me granny how to suck eggs, but there's always going to be somebody who wants to see it. That's it. Now we just clip it up. That's one side done. You tell me, how long did that take? 5 minutes? You'll not be that quick when you first start. Right, let's get this finished and start going home. Right, we're all clipped up, waiting to go. I haven't pulled up behind this Palex trailer because this daft needs to get in. We'll get out before that gate closes. There's Steve the shunter. Hope he's going to leave me some room. Oh hey man, come on, chop chop. I could have waited. Gonna be tight. Is the gate going to open? I have to get the angle on here. There we go. Now this is when I don't like it because we're at the wrong angle here. So we're going to have to go across that way and the slope's down there. And it starts to feel a bit unnerving. Watch where that headboard is. You can feel it starting to lean. Get the wheels past there. You see the kind of angle we're at? So you would not bray on. I really don't. Just sometimes it's like that when stuff's in the wrong position. Right. Another little tip for when you're clipping up, doing your curtains. I only showed you one side to save time. Now when I closed that curtain, I didn't do the curtain clips, the outer ones. I closed it, went round, did my nets on this side, pulled my curtain, and then when I go do the outer clips, I start on that side at the front, work my way to the back, come round, then come up this side, and then the last clip I'm doing is the one right behind me here. It's just the way I do it. It might save you 2 minutes, but if it's tipping down with rain and windy, you'll thank yourself. Now, another common myth is that truck drivers are all big beefy blokes, like, you know, and you have to do these curtains. Now, I'll not lie to you. Sometimes when the wind gets behind them, you know, especially if there's not been greased properly on the rails, yeah, you're going to struggle. Especially with these double deck ones. I mean, normally I do these inside. Well, this hub anyway, a swaddling coat, I do them outside. But I'm only a skinny bloke, you know, and I say skinny, bordering on anorexic. That's if you ask my dearly beloved. She's so romantic, you know what I mean? So, I mean, if I can do it, just about anybody can do it. I mean, I've seen lasses who are like 5'2" doing it. You know, it's all about technique, you learn it. There's certain ways and means of doing it when it starts getting heavy. If it is heavy, don't try and pull it all at once. Pull a bit, ruffle it up, pull the ruffles out, if you know what I mean. So it's like concertina effect. And then you're pulling against slack, you're not pulling against weight. You know? I mean, I have got a back injury from 2 years ago, hence I'm careful doing it. But it's very, very rare I feel any back pain after doing it because I've worked out the easy way of doing it. So, and the other thing is, when you're pulling back, Like you saw me walk that curtain backwards. I wasn't pulling with my arms, I was using my legs. You know, like that. Keep your back straight and just walk it back. And the other thing about that is, if the curtain snags as you're going back, well, you're not going to hurt your shoulder. If you're twisted at an angle, you're either going to hurt your shoulder, you're going to pop something in your side round about where your waist is. If you've ever had that injury where you pop something in your lower back and it's to the side, you'll know what I mean about it being very uncomfortable. So it's just little things. And the other thing is, I was doing that slow, you know, for the sake of the camera. I mean, I could go a damn sight faster if it's raining. Believe me, I don't like getting soaking wet and cold. Even though I go sea fishing, like, you know what I mean? So in depths of winter. But you will not be like lightning fast when you first start doing it. And don't try to be. Because putting these poles in, sometimes you'll see people, they've not got them in correct, and when they start driving they can pop out. So get them in, tighten them all up, and then grab your back pole, wriggle it around, make sure it's in the hole at the top. Sometimes in the dark it's hard to see where it connects to, so just make sure when you've tightened both poles, before you put your clips on, give them a pull side to side. There shouldn't be, once the curtain's been tightened, there shouldn't be any play whatsoever. If there is play, it's not right. So then you have to slacken it and put it back in again. You know, even now, 2.5 years of doing it, I always do that check, because I've only had a pole pop out on me once, and you will notice it when it happens. It doesn't fly off all over the road, like, you know, but, you know, just, well, that was my own fault again. I was green, naive, it was winter, and I wanted to go home, and I just rushed at it. Not worth it. Not worth it. Once you've got it all clipped up, just spend 30 seconds walking round and just check. All you have to do. So, because you got to remember, it's your licence, you that gets fined, and if you're an agency driver and you get collared for something, well, the chances are you're not going to get asked back. And if it's something you get heavily fined for, well, the agency might not be giving you any more work. Chances are they won't. So, just in your own interest, just double check things, you know. So, sorry if I seem like I'm trying to teach my granny how to suck eggs, but I just thought that might help some here, because it's something that they don't generally teach you on your driving training. So, but just bear in mind, keep everything nice and tight. Pull it down. Sometimes you have to do the clip a couple of times with some pressure on, and you'll feel it tighten. And then when you tap your curtain like that, if you've got it right, it should be pretty much solid, like, you know. You'll still see it flap about in your mirrors, but if you put your hand on it and you don't feel any give where the straps are and the clips, no complaint over that. So, right, that's it for tonight. If there's anything else you want to see, any little tips for any of you guys going through your training, like I say, I'm by no means the expert, but just leave me a comment or whatever, and I'll see what I can do for you. You know what I mean? The only thing I can't really show you is reversing, because with this head cam, I put my head out of the window. All you're going to see is back of this seat, you know what I mean? So, you're not going to really see them. So, but we'll see what happens if I invest in new cameras and stuff. For now, I've got other things to spend my money on. We've got a lot of stuff going on, so it is what it is. So, right, you don't need to be staring into the blackness going up Saddleworth Moor like I am. Looks like I'm going to be back for 3:45. I mean, I'll be in my car for 4 o'clock, all being well. Not bad. So, bit of a late one, because it dropped them pipe sections I was on about. Well, they're like big flanges that join big heavy duty steel pipes together. Well, he went and dropped a pallet with 3 or 4 of them on. And it took them a while to clean it up. I shouldn't laugh, but hey, it's not my problem. Shit happens. So that caused a delay. But hey, you don't complain when you get a flyer, so don't complain when you have to do an extra hour. Right, I love you and leave you. Thanks to all my new subscribers, old subscribers, however long you've been a subscriber, and thanks for watching. Alright, see you next time.